How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Sunday Night Heat, Episode 1, the debut episode on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, the show where myself, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters, discusses and rants about trending topics in the WWE. You can follow the show on Twitter and join in on the conversation and discussion by tweeting at TSNH Show on Twitter and using the hashtag TSNH. You can follow the podcast itself as well on Twitter at noholdsbarredwp, as well as listen to us on all our outlets: YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spreaker, and Stitcher, wherever is easier and convenient for you. So, guys, let's get into episode 1 of the show. So, as you've seen before and listened to in the intro, the show will feature myself talking about certain topics in WWE that are trending right now, and there's one that's been trending. It's slowly coming out of the loop and fading away right now, but I still want to talk about it and get it out of the way, and it definitely was a trending topic at the time, and it still kind of is, just seeing where he goes, and that is Alberto Del Rio. So he is the topic of episode 1, the Sunday Night Heat, so let's get right into it. So, as you know, and as I myself knows, he's done with WWE. It's officially done. It was even released on WWE.com that he was done with the company and he's leaving after his 30-day wellness policy suspension due to failing the wellness policy, and we all received word why. Something to do with a testosterone recovery drug, and we found out later that wasn't the case. He held a press conference shortly after the announcement broke out that he was leaving WWE in Mexico to discuss his wrestling future. He said he was looking to retire from wrestling in the next 2 years. He was limiting himself to 60 days per year and spending most of the time in Mexico with his family, which is all good. You know what? He's been around the business for a long time. He's done what he needs to do. You know what? Let's just let him ride into the sunset in peace and let him do what he's got to do. According to reports, his meeting with Vince on his release went very well, and there was no heat between the two at all. They didn't even have the traditional 90-day no-compete requirement as well. So that was thrown out the door, and Del Rio was safe to leave on his own. He left because, he said in a press conference, he left because he did not agree with his second run in the company. Says he was losing his passion for the business itself, and that he has many projects he's working on, including being in talks with an MMA company and being on board of the board of the directors for that company, and as well maybe being an announcer for the promotion as well. He also explained his interest in becoming a sports announcer in the U.S. in the future. There's already been his first match announced after leaving WWE. He'll be appearing with Rey Mysterio on this the debut of this wrestling promotion called Lucha Ilimitado. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but they'll be fighting on October 12th in the Yakima, Washington Sundome. I'm not really sure where that is. I should have looked it up, but doesn't really matter. We now have his first match announcements against former WWE star Rey Mysterio, who, if none of you have seen in recent pictures, he's become more jacked than I have ever seen him. And he's probably taking steroids. Not gonna lie, he's probably taking drugs. He's off WWE, he doesn't care. Anyways, in a recent interview, Del Rio reveals that the reason for leaving the WWE was that the wellness policy suspension was bogus, saying that because of the testosterone recovery, it shouldn't have been against a wellness policy. But you know what, Del Rio? There's so much that's against the wellness policy. You should have known, or at least asked. It has now come out, after saying that, according to F4W Online, that Del Rio's tested positive for elevated testosterone, and also he failed a steroid test, resulting in his violation of the wellness policy and him being suspended for the next 30 days. So Del Rio took steroids, okay? So that's mainly why he got suspended. And you can't be mad at that, okay? You can't be doing that anymore. No matter how old you are, you just can't be doing that. So my question now is, what next for Alberto Del Rio? And for that, we'll get into your tweets. And the first tweet comes from Michael Chow on Twitter, at Real Michael Chow. Awesome as always. Gets into our lowdown show every week, so I love it. Keep up with the tweets. He says, Del Rio's situation is definitely foul on WWE's part. Creative did a horrible job of booking him, and backstage politics definitely came into play. And I want to agree with Michael Chow here, because WWE promised Del Rio so much when he came back Like they said that he was gonna get another world title run, and he was gonna be like the next top heel in the company, like stuff like that. Then he ends up being in that stupid League of Nations thing, and other stuff as well. Michael Shaw also puts, he comes back and beats Vince's golden boy Juan Cena clean for the U.S. title. That's already a huge push, and I agree with him. But creative constantly gave Del Rio storylines that didn't work, like pairing him with Zeb Coulter and losing the U.S. title to all people Kalisto. The guy who beat Cena lost the title to Kalisto. What the fuck? And I agree with you right there. So you have Del Rio that beats John Cena, but then loses the title to freaking Kalisto. That didn't make any sense. I was really pissed when that happened. I remember that. Michael Shaw also puts, Del Rio is one of the best technical wrestlers, and for a guy his size to do luchador moves is rare in WWE. His limo riding, rich, cocky Del Rio character could have been a great face character, and there's huge WWE Latino fan base that would have backed him up. And you know what? I agree with that as well. They should have brought back that original character he started out with in WWE, and then when he came back, he was just this like cheap, watered down Del Rio. There was no golden showers, there's no scarf. He couldn't have a scarf, really, and he got no riding in Rolls Royces every week, which was or a different kind of like expensive ass car. Like I don't understand why they didn't bring that gimmick back. Like it doesn't make any sense. You can't have the Del Rio character without all those things. Michael Shaw also puts, Del Rio made the right choice in leaving because he wasn't happy of where he was, just like Barrett, Ryback, and Rhodes, and he won't be the last. And I 100% agree with you. WWE is definitely misusing some proper talent that would be good if they had the right push in their circumstance. So I agree with that as well. Michael Shaw finally puts, Del Rio says he earns more money in his homeland Mexico than in WWE, but if WWE offers him a Brock Lesnar part-time schedule and salary, he will be back. And you know what? I probably agree. And maybe if WWE tells him he can't take steroids anymore, though, maybe that has to play in factor. But I think if Del Rio got that kind of contract, I think he probably would come back. And who knows? Maybe he will in the future. So I mean, you asked now what's next for ADR2. Oh, we have actually one more tweet. Sorry about that. Last tweet comes from, here, Gama NU on Twitter. He puts the next, basically where it's next for W. He'll be going either Lucha Underground, Ring of Honor, and Mexico in his future, which I want to get into right now, and I agree. I think he will not return to Lucha Underground. I think that's slowly fading away. I've been hearing less and less about Lucha Underground, and I've been hearing actually a lot more hate towards Lucha Underground. So I don't think Del Rio will end up going back there. I say he probably goes to AAA for sure. Maybe gives Ring of Honor a shot for some special matches, like not like a full-time schedule with Ring of Honor, but certain matches here like he's having with Rey Mysterio. Other than that, I don't think there's going to be a lot of Del Rio we're going to see. As he said, that he's only planning to have 60 dates in 1 year. So he's probably going to want to spread those out, take some time to spend with his family, spend with Paige, obviously, who we'll talk about later. Let's get into this topic. Why did WWE give this guy false promises? Why? You bring this guy back because at the time you needed him. You needed a guy like Del Rio to boost up your roster and boost up the ratings. This is before the whole brand split and stuff. And then you give him false promises and you just job him. You put him in the League of Nations, he gets jobbed. You put him with Zeb Coulter, which could have been something, but no, you make him lose the U.S. title to fucking Kalisto. Okay, he beat John Cena, but loses to Kalisto. Like, exactly what Michael Chow said. What the fuck? How do you make this guy beat John Cena, the guy that runs the place, lose to Kalisto? I know it's like I'm putting down Kalisto, but as much as a good competitor that he is, you cannot have, if you're going to push Del Rio the way he was supposed to be pushed, he does not lose to fucking Kalisto. Might as well just go get jobbed by Braun Strowman, or hell, Nia Jax for that matter, because then what the fuck is the point? So now, what feuds could he have done in WWE to have pushed him to that main event caliber like spot in the right feud that he should have been in? So, if you think about it, could Del Rio hold up a feud against Seth Rollins? Absolutely. I believe that 100%. There could have been something there where you turned Seth Rollins babyface, or you can even have Del Rio as the face, but you bring back that Mexican aristocrat gimmick, the rich cards and stuff. Perfect. 100%. You can label him as like the top heel in the company, and you can turn Seth Rollins face. I think that would have been a good feud. Or if you want to keep Del Rio as a heel, Why not have Roman Reigns a champion and feud with Del Rio? I know a lot of people are going to think about that and say, I would not want to see that, but I think they can put up a good feud. Wrestling wise, probably not, but I mean, you could have done so much with Del Rio if you brought back that character and pushed him the right way, or even like when the brand split happened, you put him on SmackDown. And you put him with, he was on SmackDown, but you bring Paige over and keep him happy on SmackDown. You label him as the top heel. You have him fight with AJ to be like, who's the top heel in the company, or who's the top guy that runs the place. Like that would have been great. But no, you gave him false promises. You jobbed him like 100 million times. Even his last match, he jobs to John Cena, the guy he beat for the U.S. title. You make him job to him. I feel so bad for the guy. The guy stays with the company and commits to the company and comes back after leaving already. Gets false promises. No wonder he's fucking leaving and taking steroids, WWE. Like, think about it. You wonder why he's doing this stuff. I don't understand. Like, even though he said he's done, will we ever see ADR in WWE again? You know what? I kind of agree with Michael Chow a little bit. If they gave him the right contract, as in the Brock Lesnar type contract, I can see Del Rio is going to come back to WWE and will do something in WWE probably better than what we're seeing him in this last run just now. Is he Hall of Fame worthy, Del Rio? Yes, I don't think right now. Maybe later down the line, like maybe in the next 5 to 8 years, possibly. I don't know if he's considered Hall of Fame status in the next couple of years. I think we at least maybe wait 5 years before even making him a contender, because like he's going to be done with wrestling in 2 years. So maybe after that fact we can factor in, maybe we can sneak him in somewhere. If there's a really lack of Hall of Fame 1 year, we can sneak him in there. But I think he's definitely Hall of Fame worthy. He definitely belongs in the Hall of Fame. He's done so much in WWE, multiple time world champion. He's beaten John Cena a shit ton of times. He's beaten CM Punk. He's beaten a lot of top guys in WWE. I think he's definitely Hall of Fame worthy, and just like his whole wrestling background, he's definitely a guy in the lucha libre style of wrestling. One guy a lot of people look up to. So now, speaking of Del Rio with his real-time girlfriend Paige, there was a lot of speculation of what was going on with Paige, with her hiring a lawyer and all that stuff right after Del Rio leaves WWE. So there was a lot of speculation that Paige is going to leave. It ended up being a fact that Paige wanted to leave, and that was why she hired legal representation. But apparently they worked out something in like the last week that made her stay. So Paige will be staying with the company, and she's supposed to be backstage at Raw tomorrow night. So we'll see what happens then. Other than that, I'm glad Paige is staying. As you know, and as a lot of our longtime listeners know, she is my girl. She's my top favorite diva of all time. I love her. She's young still. She got a lot of potential, so I hope that she stays with the company. She doesn't do something stupid. Apparently, it was true that WWE was going as far as to firing her if she violated her contract and just left the company. So we'll see. But as for that, I hope Del Rio does have a good future in the next 2 years. I mean, if it's true he only wants to wrestle the next 2 years, I hope he does what he has to do. I mean, the guy's done so much for WWE. If he doesn't come back, I'll be happy with that. I mean, I would love him in WWE right now. Currently, there's some lack of presence of good heels on Raw, especially. Like the 3 hours just drags so much. You can do something with Del Rio on that 3 hour note. Like I know the cruiserweights are coming in, but still, I wish Del Rio was still here. A lot of potential in that guy. There's a lot of feuds that he could have been in and labeled as the top heel in a certain brand. I just wish they had brought back that golden shower gimmick with the cars and the scarf. I know my co-host Corporate Cappy is really sad about this. It's one of his favorite wrestlers, but I'm sure he's happy with whatever he chooses. And who knows? Maybe you can still watch some Del Rio matches. We'll have to find a way to get some tapes from his upcoming independent circuit bout. We'll see. I don't know if they're going to tape it or not. Who knows? But other than that, guys, that's probably going to do it now for episode 1. I'm not sure what episode 2 is going to be about, just so tune in on Twitter at TSNH show or on Twitter at TSNH show. I was going to say .com. But other than that, guys, that's going to wrap it up for episode 1 of the Sunday Night Heat on No Holds Barred Wrestling Podcast, or the show where myself, the self-proclaimed greatest host, Kyle Masters discusses and rants about trending topics in the WWE. We'll see you next week for episode 2. Stay tuned to Twitter for the next topic. Other than that, guys, that's it.